Now on CoastTV News.
Development debate deepens. Why the Cape Henlopen School District is pushing back on plans for a large shopping and apartment complex in Lewis.
Salary scrutiny, we look at some of the biggest increases occurring in Ocean City's budget plans.
Expansion cost concerns. The reason there could be a potential delay for upgrades at Delaware's Capitol building.
A warm front lifting through Delmarva today brings summer-like warmth. A bit cooler for Friday with increasing shower chances. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we just continue to keep moving along during this first week of April.
Exactly. And this morning, a little bit warmer when I got into my car.
I was thinking
52
that.
52 degrees. Much better
This
than
is how
yesterday.
I track my day. Elisa's car
Yeah.
thermometer? Is that the right thing?
I think
Temperature
so.
gauge?
I think
You know,
so.
usually that's what kind of gives us the gauge of how we're planning our day, what it reads when she gets into the car.
Although if you base how your day is going to go based on temperature, it's not always smart because as we know, weather changes pretty quickly. But Bob's going to tell us a little bit more about our Thursday forecast. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Good morning, Delmarva. And it's more than just a little warmer. We're about 25 to 30 degrees warmer now than we were yesterday at this time. We were scraping frost yesterday. Look at this, lower 60s from Salisbury to Georgetown. You had frost yesterday. Wow, what a dramatic warm up. 62 in Milton, 55 in Ocean City, 61 in Rehoboth right now. As those winds are coming in out of the south, we've got a warm front lifting through, and those winds getting gusty up to 25 miles per hour in gusts in Georgetown, 20 in Ocean City, and they'll be gusty all day long as we're looking at some clouds right now. Nothing in the way of precipitation, but we've got a warm front lifting through as we speak, and that will usher in much warmer air. While to the west, it's been a lot of severe weather across the Midwest, seeing some showers and storms across the Ohio Valley, but I think that'll be staying to our west as we go through the day. So Futurecast this morning with a dramatic warm up. Here's mid-morning, well into the 60s and then mid-70s by the noon hour. Secure those outdoor items. It'll be pretty windy, and then I think upper 70s to maybe low 80s away from the coast if you see some sunshine, but cooler at the beaches as that winds are really cranking up today, and it has more of a summer feel with those temperatures well into the 70s. But we'll see up and down temperatures and shower chances increasing, maybe even a few thunderstorms. More on that coming up a little bit later on.
All right, thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour, crews in Indiana are responding to severe damage caused by Wednesday night's winds. A woman had to be rescued from a building collapse in Brownsburg, and we're just getting this information. The emergency crews confirming that she was awake and alert and taken to an area hospital. This morning, flood watches and wind advisories remain in effect for many central Indiana counties. This just in, we are assessing the pushback by the Cape Henlopen School District over the proposed apartment and shopping center off of Route 24 in Lewis. A response from Cape's Director of Operations, Jason Hale, was reviewed as part of a public hearing at last night's hearing on Bellmead Farm LLC's plans. With two schools located less than a half mile from the planned site of this complex, the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission, they wanted the feedback from Cape. The Bellmead plans call for 480 rental units and 125,000 square feet of retail space.
And here's what Hale wrote. We, quote, recently recommend no additional residential development be approved until a school construction impact fee can be implemented to allow the district to plan for growth and accommodate for it. Hale would further state that Cape is challenged to meet demands of a growing student population with limited resources. The public comment period on the Bellmead plan is open for 10 business days.
This morning, work will continue by the Ocean City Council on its budget for the next fiscal year. And this afternoon, several departments are scheduled to present their proposals. According to the documents issued in advance of the meeting, the Recreation Division is seeking an increase of over $150,000 from the current budget. It's over $158,000 for the Parks Division. And in both cases, we're seeing the two biggest jumps in expenses occurring with salary and benefits. Ocean City's new budget must be finalized by July 1st.
And budget talks have been ongoing all week in Ocean City. We are also covering the town's efforts to jumpstart its bus service. According to the Transportation Committee, fewer people have been taking the bus. Reasons being cited are the lack of bus drivers and longer wait times, which is why the Ocean City Council plans to give an extra $1.5 million to the Transportation Committee. with some of that money being used to hire more bus drivers. And according to the town manager, options include offering signing bonuses and providing additional payment during concert events to attract more staff.
Tonight in Lewis, the work requests on 3 properties will be reviewed by the city's Historic Preservation Architectural Commission. There's an application for an addition on East 3rd Street, construction on Franklin Avenue, and several projects for St. Peter's Episcopal Church on Mulberry Street. Tonight's meeting is at 6 at the Rollins Center.
We are now taking a live look at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Inside that building, members of Congress are contemplating their next moves after President Trump announced his tariff plans. Starting today, those plans call for 25% tariffs on vehicles shipped to the United States.
And also duties on parts, they're set to begin by May 3rd. Amy Kiley shows us how all this could affect average Americans.
President Donald Trump is imposing a 10% tariff on imports from all countries, plus higher rates for Cambodia, Vietnam, China, the European Union, and more. Here are 5 ways experts say Americans might feel the impact. 1, higher prices.
It's thousands of dollars. We're talking at least 2% of the median household income that this will cost American households.
Most economists predict U.S. businesses that pay the tariffs will pass on some or all of the costs to consumers. The Trump administration downplays that.
The businesses don't have to pass them on, or the producers in the other countries can eat the tariffs.
2, an economic slowdown.
What you're seeing here is a potential haircut to GDP for 2025 of about 3%.
J.P. Morgan predicts a global recession if Trump maintains his tariffs. Economists say a 1930 trade war deepened the Great Depression.
We know what happened in 1929, 1930 in the crash.
Trump supporters note other countries don't have to retaliate.
They're going to bring their tariffs down because they need the U.S. to be active trading partners.
3, blows to retirement funds if the stock market doesn't fully rebound. 4, high interest rates if the Federal Reserve sees too much inflation. And 5, growth for some domestic manufacturers. Economists say they're the biggest winners under Trump's tariffs.
We have to save the people and the industries of the United States.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And last night, 4 Republican senators joined all 47 Democrats in passing a measure blocking President Trump's tariffs on Canadian products.
A big expansion for Delaware's Legislative Hall in Dover now has an uncertain future. On Wednesday, the Democratic caucus released a joint statement calling for the more than $100 million project to be put on hold due to rising costs and uncertainty from Washington. There is one part of that expansion that is moving forward. That's the $33 million 3-story parking garage for lawmakers and staff. The money to pay for it was allocated in last year's bond bill. According to the City of Dover officials, before it can begin the permitting process, the project's designers need to submit a final site plan.
Happening today, Milford area state senators will partner with the Food Bank of Delaware for a donation drive. And organizers say this is in response to federal cuts of the nation's food bank supplies. Food Bank of Delaware says the cuts will cancel the delivery of 750,000 pounds of food between April and July. That equates to about 900,000 meals. More than half the food the organization distributed in February came from the USDA's Emergency Food Assistance Program. People can drop off items from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. today at Milford location on Delaware Veterans Boulevard.
And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Now, coming up, dangerous weather. While we're expecting a typical spring day here, it's not the case in other parts of the U.S.
Also, wait for War Memorial improvements, why Ellendale officials are putting a pause on the project.
And work and recovery through work and jobs, how one group has provided support to those struggling with addiction. CoastTV News Today is back after this.
Imagine being at the lowest point in your life and having nowhere to go. In this week's Coastal Connections, Brendan Conroy shows us how one man has made it his mission to be the light in people's darkest moments.
Brianna Watkins is vacuuming. This house means a lot to her. It's a recovery home.
I had an addiction to crack cocaine for the longest time.
Brianna is one of the people helped by Christian Grace LLC. The Georgetown organization offers sober living and affordable supportive housing.
I called my mom and I said, look, I can't do this anymore. Like I have nothing. I have no clothes. I have no vehicle. I have nothing. I don't even have a phone. Like I was using somebody else's phone.
David Foreman, president of Christian Grace, says he was once an addict himself. He now dedicates his life to making sure others are provided the same help as he once had, including offering work when they need it.
We're giving people a great price because we don't have the crazy overhead. I'm keeping my people working a little bit, and so they're getting paid a fair wage, and whatever's left over defrays the costs of the extra energy and other things that are going on here.
Christian Grace has 4 homes, all in the Georgetown area. One even has a Zen garden. One special thing David told me about helping people in recovery is that whether it's on the job or in their personal lives, it can have a generational effect. They might struggle with addiction through generations, but helping them can help future generations. The future generation is top of mind for Eric Doring, who says he's staying sober for his daughter, Riley.
I love her more than anything in this world. Every day is a struggle for me. I fight demons every single day. It's part of life, man. But having people like David to give me the opportunity to have a chance back at life. I don't know where I would be without being in recovery or a sober living house because I can't do it on my own.
Helping people recover through work and their personal life. One step at a time.
There's a lot of reward in that.
For this week's Coastal Connections in Sussex County, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
Time is 5:15, and we're getting a live look at the lights along the canal in Lewis. It's a mild morning there, mild morning everywhere, Bob, as we are dealing with big jump up in temperatures.
Boy, I tell you what, Matt, yesterday at this time we were scraping frost for inland areas in the low to mid 30s. Now we're in the 60s. So we are 29 degrees warmer now in Salisbury than we were yesterday at this time. 25 in Cambridge, 22 in Georgetown, 21 in Ocean City. That is a big temperature swing. 62 in Delmarva, 60 at Bethany Beach right now. Rehoboth, you're waking up to 62, 61 in Georgetown. A little cooler in Ocean City at 55 as those winds are starting to crank up from the south around 10 to 20 miles per hour, even 25 miles per hour in Georgetown. That is your latest gust, gusting to 20 in Ocean City, 28 at Indian River Inlet. At times today, we'll be gusting over 30 miles per hour, so make sure you have those outdoor items secured or stowed away. As we are looking at some clouds, nothing in the way of rain or storms for us. We are watching this warm front lifting through as we speak, but back to the west, that's where they had a lot of severe weather from Indiana, the Midwest, down into Arkansas last night. And now we're seeing those showers and storms weakening from western PA down to south, just south of Cincinnati into the Memphis area. And this front is slowly sagging our way. It's not going to get here today, but maybe tonight and tomorrow morning, a chance of a few storms. We're looking at futurecasts this morning with temperatures quickly rising through the 60s, mid-70s by the noon hour, but cooler 60s and 70s at the coast. And by 3:30, maybe 80 in Millsboro, 80 in Salisbury and Long Neck, but a little cooler at the coast and very mild as we go into the evening hours. As we go through the overnight, here's 12:30 a.m. and it's still very mild with 60s and 70s. Then we go into Friday morning and we'll see a boundary sinking to the south from the north, and along this boundary there's a chance of a few showers or thunderstorms as we go into the morning hours. Then it's a little cooler into the afternoon with temperatures in the 70s. We're dry into Friday evening, but if you have plans Saturday morning, we could see showers and a few thunderstorms until about 8 a.m. as a warm front is lifting through, and a big swing in temperatures by the afternoon. 78 in Salisbury at 3:30, 64 in Millsboro, but 50s at the coast. That is a big temperature swing, so chillier at the coast for sure. And we do have a level 1 or a marginal risk of seeing severe weather. This would be late tonight and Friday morning with those weakening storms, and the main threat would be maybe some damaging winds, but we're looking at non-thunderstorm winds today, gusting 35 to maybe 40 miles per hour. So hang on to your hats and the steering wheels, and we're still looking at gusty winds as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning, and then calming down and then shifting to the northeast behind a front tomorrow. Then into the weekend, as we move Moving to later Sunday, here comes a cold front with showers and maybe some heavier rain into Monday morning. Keep that in mind for your morning commute. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 79 today, and then that chance of a few showers and storms Friday morning. Otherwise, a little cooler, 71, 73 on Saturday, another chance of mainly morning showers and storms. And then Sunday, 79, late day rain, and some of that rain could be heavy into Monday morning, and then turning cooler and drier, 50s for highs through Wednesday, and then looks like sub-freezing lows by Wednesday morning. Not done with the cold air just yet. Congratulations to Daryl from Frankfurt on winning a brand new umbrella, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
On Wednesday, a powerful storm generated several tornadoes across Arkansas. Cell phone video captured a massive tornado sweeping across the landscape near Lunsford. It's unclear the extent of the damage there. It was a part of an intense night in the Midwest. Dozens of tornado warnings were in effect from Texas to Ohio, and thousands are without power across Arkansas.
Happening today in Ocean City, we could learn more about Seaside Christian Academy's construction proposal. This afternoon, the Worcester County Planning Commission will look at plans for an athletics center that is over 29,000 square feet. According to the school, the estimated cost of this project is $5 million, and they hope to break ground on it this summer.
Coming up, patriotic plans paused as Ellendale considers upgrades for its war memorial. Coast TV News Today will be right back.
Developing news in Ellendale, where improvements for the town's war memorial are on hold. Last night, the town council reviewed improvement options. 3 groups gave their respective visions of this project, including more plants circling the memorial site on Macaulay Avenue, additional poles to fit several flags, and even a shrub shaped like an eagle. Town officials say they want to hold a special meeting about the project before going forward.
In Ocean City, Spring Fest will return in 2025. The 34th annual event takes place April 24th through the 27th in the Inlet Lot. You can enjoy live music, crafts, food, workshops, a sunrise yoga class on the beach, and celebrate the 150th anniversary of Ocean City. There will be an anniversary floral garden.
New this morning, the calendar says it's April. People in Minnesota are doubting that. Check this out. We got a snowstorm that hit parts of Duluth. The Duluth area, 1 to 4 inches of snow is expected through most of the area Wednesday night, and wind gust near 40 miles per hour. And get this, the storm will be done by this morning, but more chances of snow are expected there over the next few days.
That is a sight I do not want to see. Snow boots, snow. No, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I was peeking at Bob's graphic. Spoiler alert, I don't think we have to worry about that snow today.
Oh, thank goodness.
Poor Duluth. Poor Duluth. Their summer doesn't start till June. Or maybe their spring doesn't start till May. Oh boy, yeah, they get snow forever up there in the spring. Anyway, closer to home, we have a small craft advisory through Friday morning. Delaware Bay, Atlantic Ocean, inland bays too. Those winds gusting over 30 miles per hour. Lots of clouds in Ocean City and Fenwick Island today. And not bad, pretty mild. Temperatures into the mid to upper 60s. UV index is low. And it's going to be a lot of whitecaps up to Cape May on the ferry ride from Lewis, and lots of clouds in Lewis and Rehoboth. Temperatures topping out in the low to mid 70s later on. On the Bayside, 1 to 2 foot waves, mid 70s, lots of clouds in Cambridge. Windy, maybe a little cooler in Crisfield with temperatures in the lower 70s. We have up and down temperatures, and we also have showers that will be increasing as we go into Friday and parts of the weekend. Much more in your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Coming up after the break, food drive after dollar cuts. We look at the effort by Delaware lawmakers after the food bank project projects about a loss close to $1 million.
Also, apartment at odds, why the Cape Henlopen School District is not on board for the proposed shopping and apartment complex in Lewis.
And expansion plans in doubt, why some members of the Delaware General Assembly are pushing to halt a big project at Legislative Hall. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Now on Coast TV News.
Expansion cost concerns, the reason there could be a potential delay for upgrades at Delaware's Capitol building.
Development debate deepens, why the Cape Henlopen School District is pushing back on plans for a large shopping and apartment complex in Lewis.
Food funding fallout, the effort underway in Delaware, taking place in Milford tonight in the wake of federal cuts to food banks.
A warm front lifting through Delmarva today brings summer-like warmth. A bit cooler for Friday with increasing shower chances. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
April 3rd, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:28, and I want to say welcome back.
Welcome
70-degree temperatures.
Welcome back. We love to have you. Please stay a while.
Stay all spring.
70 to 75, if I could have that all year round.
Well, you know my favorite song, one of my favorite songs, Sunny and 75.
That is true.
Bob knows that.
He does, and he said it's summer-like warmth. That's some good stuff.
Better than 75 today.
Oh,
I possibly
Really?
80.
Tell me
inland
more.
areas. I know we're cranking up the thermostat. Not that warm along the beaches, but already lower 60s from Salisbury to Bethany Beach. Rehoboth 61. A little cooler in Ocean City, but 61 in Georgetown right now as the winds are beginning to gust pretty strong. 25 miles per hour in Georgetown, 20 in Ocean City, 29 at Indian River Inlet. As we are looking at mostly cloudy skies, it's dry out there, dry roads. We're looking at just mostly cloudy skies right now as a warm front is lifting northward, and that is the leading edge to very warm air that will be building in today. That's actually ahead of this cold front back to the west. We're seeing showers and thunderstorms that are beginning to weaken across western PA back into the Ohio Valley, so they will stay to our west today. Here's Futurecast this morning. We're in the 50s and low 60s. Those winds really getting gusty. Make sure you secure those outdoor items. Mid-morning around 65 in Millsboro, 67 in Delmarva, but cooler at the beaches with 50s and 60s there. But by noon, 76 Millsboro, around 75 in Salisbury. Then we're flirting with 80-degree warmth as we go into the afternoon hours. I think we're staying dry, maybe around 81 in Millsboro, 80 in Milton, but it will be cooler at the coast, so keep that in mind. And it will be cooler over the water on the ferry riding forecast. Temperatures slowly warming through the 60s this morning with lots of clouds and gusty winds. Could be a bit of a bumpy ride with some whitecaps as those winds are gusting over 30 miles per hour as we go through the day.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this morning, a major expansion project for Delaware's Legislative Hall in Dover now has an uncertain future. On Wednesday, the Democratic caucus released a joint statement calling for the more than $100 million expansion to be put on hold due to rising costs and uncertainty from Washington. However, the $33 million three-story parking garage for lawmakers and staff is still moving forward since that money was allocated in last year's bond bill. As the bond committee reviews the next fiscal year budget, lawmakers question whether these projects are the best use of state funds.
We can't just take taxpayers' money and say, that would be nice, we should have that now. We really have to budget for it, we really have to save for it, and we've got to think the same way a family or a small business does.
And the city of Dover tells us that before it can begin the permitting process, the project's designer needs to submit a final site plan.
Happening today, work will continue by the Ocean City Council on its budget for the next fiscal year. And this afternoon, several departments are scheduled to present their proposals. According to the documents issued in advance of the meeting, the Recreation Division is seeking an increase of over $150,000 from the current budget. It's over $158,000 for the Parks Division. In both cases that we checked, the two biggest jumps in expenses are occurring with salary and benefits. Ocean City's new budget must be finalized by July 1st.
New this morning, the Delaware Bicycle Council met Wednesday to discuss progress and funding for some transportation projects. Officials say the Georgetown to Lewis Bike Trail project is moving forward with construction from Fisher Road to Airport Road set to begin in June 2025. The project is expected to be complete by July 2026, finishing the full trail connection between Georgetown and Lewis.
This just in, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer has announced judicial nominations for New Castle County. Gerard Spadency is nominated for the judge of the Court of Common Pleas. Megan O'Reilly-Karasek for Family Court Commissioner. And Paul Wallace, along with Lynn Parker, they get reappointments to the Superior Court. The nominations still need Senate approval.
Developing news in Lewis, pushback by the Cape Henlopen School District over the proposed apartment and shopping center off of Route 24 in Lewis. A response from Cape's Director of Operations, Jason Hale, was reviewed as a part of a public hearing at last night's public hearing on the Bellmead Farm LLC's plans. With two schools located less than half a mile from the planned site of this complex, the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission wanted the feedback from Cape. The Bellmead plans call for 480 rental units and 125,000 square feet of retail space.
Yeah, here's what Hale wrote in the letter. We respectfully recommend that no additional residential development be approved until a school construction impact fee can be implemented to allow the district to plan and accommodate for growth. Hale would further state that Cape is challenged to meet demands of a growing student population with limited resources. Public comment period on the Belmead plans that is open for 10 business days.
Happening today, the Food Bank of Delaware branch in Milford will be organizing a donation drive. This comes during budget cuts to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which has led to the delivery of 19 truckloads of food for the food bank being canceled. That amount is equal to around 900,000 meals. The food bank is calling upon the community to donate and help those facing food insecurity.
Our most needed items all the time are still needed now. So things like spaghetti and spaghetti sauce, cereal, peanut butter, canned meats like canned chicken or tuna fish, things like that are always things that are much needed all the time, and especially now.
The donation drive will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. at their location in Milford.
Just getting more information about that earthquake. More than 3,000 people have now been confirmed killed in Myanmar after that powerful 7.7 earthquake rocked the country last Friday. Experts have warned the true death toll is likely to be higher as hundreds remain missing in hopes of finding people alive. That's dwindling 6 days after that quake first struck. Around 500 buildings have totally collapsed. 800 more are partially destroyed. Buildings in the capital, Bangkok, were damaged and under construction. High-rise collapsed, trapping dozens. Of the deaths in Thailand, at least 15 people were killed following the building's collapse. That's according to Bangkok's emergency center.
We are now taking a live look at our nation's capital. This morning, investors and American consumers are bracing for the fallout from President Trump's new taxes on imported goods. The scope of the long-promised Trump tariffs suppressed economists and investors around the world. Overnight, stocks fell in Asia, and here at home, Dow futures dropped more than 800 points.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us some new tariffs have already kicked in, with foreign cars facing a 25% import tax starting today.
President Trump rolling out his long-anticipated reciprocal tariffs.
That means they do it to us and we do it to them.
Slapping trading partners across the globe with a new minimum 10% tariff, much higher for dozens of countries hit with half the tax on foreign goods that the White House says they charge on U.S. exports.
If you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America.
We asked small business owner Adam Fazakerly. Is it that simple?
We would love to. I grew up in a military family. That was the first place we turned to. And then the realities are that some products are very difficult to make here and sustain a business. The design was
Fazakerly's playmat to makeup bag business Lay and Go manufactures in China hit with a total 54% tariff, and Cambodia now facing an additional 49% levy.
Cambodia, oh look at Cambodia.
That he expects to drive up costs on his next shipment by more than $50,000.
It is important to understand the way that this is affecting small business, and it's not positive.
The new tariffs add to a sweeping series already in place aimed at returning factories and jobs to America. But U.S. businesses will be forced to eat added costs and likely pass them on to American consumers on everything from cars to computers, clothes, and groceries. CNBC's Ron Insana breaking down the impact.
The average tariff is going to be about 25% and could cost the average family as much as $5,000 a year.
Democrats sounding the alarm as some of the top U.S. CEOs warn of potential harm, and the White House presses ahead. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, unexplained bee deaths, why beekeepers across the country say they are opening up and finding their colonies dead.
Also, lacrosse field battle as Cape Henlopen girls looks to take down Sussex Academy and remain unbeaten this season.
And after the break, smoky plane evacuation, why this American Airlines jet experienced unexpected maintenance issues. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
5:39 on this breezy and mild Thursday morning. No, I don't want to slow the week down. Hershey Exteriors Cam 54 in Ocean City. It's breezy and it's mild. Lower 60s from Salisbury up to Milton. 54 in Ocean City. A little cooler there, but those winds pretty gusty. 26 miles per hour gusting in Indian River Inlet. 25 in Georgetown. 20 in Ocean City. And those winds will be gusty all day. Make sure you secure those outdoor items. We are seeing clouds beginning to increase. I think we're going to keep it dry today with the stormy weather back to the west and a warm front bringing us really warm weather as we go into the afternoon. Today's checklist, you don't need the umbrella, need the windbreaker, secure the outdoor items because of the strong winds, and drive with caution with those gusty winds. Warm weather clothes this afternoon as temperatures get near 80 degrees, and grab the sunglasses too. And call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone, another way to get your forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Smoke forced evacuation of an American Airlines regional jet on Tuesday. PSA Airlines, operator of the flight, said its plane experienced a maintenance issue after it landed in Augusta, Georgia, following a short flight from Charlotte. Passengers described a burning smell and said the cabin filled with light smoke. All passengers were safely evacuated on the runway and were taken to the airport terminal. On Wednesday, American Airlines said a different plane flying the same route also experienced a mechanical issue.
The men's Final Four kicks off this weekend. It's an all #1 seed affair as Auburn will take on Florida and Duke will face Houston. This year marks the first time all top seeds made the Final Four since 2008. More than 100,000 visitors are expected to be in San Antonio for the Final Four, and that's on top of locals that are also going to be enjoying all of the activities. Saturday's matchups feature Florida against Auburn, followed by Houston facing Duke.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning. Cape Henlopen girls lacrosse looking to stay undefeated while visiting Sussex Academy last night. Skipping all the way ahead to the second quarter of action, Decatur up 4-2, but not until Macy Stein-Waddell rips this ball into the 5-hole to make it a 1-score game. Up next, Vikings ball on this next play, trying to tie things up. Amara Fruckman gets a pass, but a whistle is blown. She's going to get a free possession shot. Ref gives the signal. Fruckman gets in front and finds the back of the net. We're tied at 2 apiece. Other side of the field now. That's Shelby Manlove with the rock. She draws some contact, and she's going to get a free position now. The whistle will blow on this one. She takes a big step and rips this one sidearm in for the goal. Sussex Academy back in the driver's seat, 5-4. Final minutes of the first half, Vikings possession. Marie Rishko surveying the field. She finds a cutting Haley Gamuscello, who puts it past the goalie. Vikings tie it up going into half. Third quarter, Vikings waste no time. That's Allie Deal keeping it herself, beating her defenders and finding the back of the net to put Cape back in front. But later on, Seahawks unable to respond. There's Deal again. Her shot seems to get saved, but a whistle was blown. Cape getting a huge free possession shot, and on that opportunity, Deal rips it towards the ground. She gets the 5-hole shot, and the Vikings are up by 2 scores. Vikings lead by a bunch now, but we got to show this incredible behind-the-back shot by the junior Claire Lopez, putting her team up by another. What a shot by Lopez. Cape Henlopen goes on to win 18-6. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN, 6:30, it is Sussex Tech at Cape Henlopen. That's in girls soccer. And then at 10:30, tune into the final score. Over on the DSN Plus app, you do get that Sussex Tech Cape game. And here are your exclusives. 4 o'clock, boys lacrosse, Parkside at Cambridge, South Dorchester. And then we have 2 girls soccer games. Laurel at Delmar, Indian River at Seaford. 6:15, hey, we're back with boys lacrosse. That's when Worcester Prep takes on Caraville Academy.
Today in entertainment news, a look at a series launching today and a movie debuting next month. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Did you take our son along for a demon fight yesterday?
I'm just trying to do something nice here.
Actress and musician Jennifer Nettles acts and sings with Kevin Bacon in the supernatural horror series The Bondsman. Nettles says she was blown away by the script.
As a musician, the way that I read things is the way that I write things. It's like I don't read them with my eyes, I read them with my ears. So how does this sound? Can I hear this? Does this sound authentic? Can I hear this in someone's mouth? And they jumped off the page as real to me, those words. So I loved the storyline.
The Bondsman debuts today on Prime Video, and Bacon and Nettles' album Helen Back is out Friday.
And which genius will explain to me why I'm here?
Keep the cat in the bag until I release it. Yeah? Great. We're looking for the Fountain of Youth.
Oh, Please, no.
What did I just say about the cat in the bag?
Cat wasn't happy in the bag.
Here's your first look at Fountain of Youth, directed by Guy Ritchie. John Krasinski and Natalie Portman play estranged siblings who reunite for a global epic adventure in search of the mythical fountain. The action-adventure debuts May 23rd on Apple TV+. Getting my passport in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
A breezy and mild Thursday morning, 60s except 50s in Ocean City right now, 54 on the Dry Tech Cam, and we're looking at summer-like warmth later today. Maybe some lower 80s inland. A bit cooler Friday into the weekend with increasing shower chances, but it won't be a washout heading into the weekend. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
5:47, and we're taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. And Bob, if you have me walking outside right now in Lewis, it's actually pretty pleasant.
It's pleasant there,
Yeah.
Lisa, and it's pleasant pretty much everywhere else this morning. It is nice out there. Compared to yesterday morning, we were scraping frost, and this morning we are almost 30 degrees warmer in Salisbury than we were yesterday at this time. They were scraping frost there yesterday, so very warm, 20 to 30 degrees warmer at this time than yesterday. We were in the 30s. Now we're in the low 60s, 63 in Seaford, Redden, 62, Rehoboth at 62. A little cooler in Ocean City at 54 degrees as we're seeing winds picking up out of the south, sustained around 10 to 17 miles per hour, but gusting to 23 miles per hour at Bethany Beach, 25 in Georgetown, 20 in Ocean City. So we'll be a breezy to windy day on the way as we're looking at clouds increasing. Nothing in the way of rain or storms across Delmarva. We're watching a warm front lifting to the north now across the area, and that will usher in even warmer air as we go through the day. We're watching a line of showers and storms that are beginning to weaken, but they really caused problems last night with damage across the Midwest. We're seeing those showers and storms through Pennsylvania into southern Ohio right now, and then stretching down to the Memphis area where they're probably a little more severe. But this system will stay to our north and west for today as we're just looking at warmer air. At Futurecast is indicating that big warm up by mid-morning into the mid to upper 60s. Cooler at the beaches, and we'll see clouds and sun today by the noon hour. 75 in Salisbury, 74 in Ellendale, and I think we're going to see some 80-degree readings showing up away from the coast, and very windy this afternoon. Winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Cooler at the coast, maybe a little bit of drizzle there, otherwise very mild through the overnight hours. And into Friday morning, we'll be looking at mild conditions and a frontal boundary sinking to the south. And it's possible we could see a few showers or thunderstorms at that time, but right now it's a slight chance. And then not as warm tomorrow with temperatures into the 70s. As we go into tomorrow night, it's going to be a little cooler with temperatures into the 50s. And then Saturday morning, if you have plans early Saturday, could see a few showers or thunderstorms. Then as we go through the day, a warm front lifts back to the north, and we're looking at temperatures near 80 around Salisbury, 50s at the coast, a big temperature contrast. Level 1 risk of seeing severe weather, a marginal risk, could see damaging winds, possibly a low chance as we go into tonight and Friday morning. And those winds are gusty today, at times gusting 35 to maybe 40 miles per hour into the afternoon hours. And then as we go into Friday morning, still gusty winds, and then they start to shift to the northeast and east as we go into Friday evening, and that will cool us off a little bit. As we go into the second half of the weekend, watch for later Sunday with heavier rain and maybe some thunderstorms into Monday morning with a cold front. Then it's much colder after that. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 79 today, and then 71 Friday, mainly morning showers, and then 73 Saturday, morning showers. I think we'll see some afternoon sun, close to 80 on Sunday, rain later Sunday into early Monday. Some of that could be on the heavy side, 56 Monday, so it does cool down into the midweek period tomorrow, drier and probably frosty as we go into Wednesday morning. In fact, freezing temperatures at that time, we think.
Thank you, Bob. Delmarva beekeepers are among those feeling the impact of the unexplained deaths of millions of bees across the country. Major bee distributors across the country say they are opening up hives like these in Worcester County and seeing many dead. Bees play a major role in pollination of essential agriculture. Honeybees pollinate around 75% of fruit, nuts, and vegetables in the United States, around $15 billion worth of crops. And an Eastern Shore expert told us the economic impact will be felt.
We need about a third of our diet comes from fruits, nuts, and vegetables that bees pollinate. And so in my own operation this year, I lost about 50% of my hives here in Salisbury.
And this issue has been growing over the past few months, but as the bees get more active in the warm weather, time will tell just how much these losses will ripple across the economy. And coming up after the break, approval delayed. We'll tell you why the FDA made the decision to push back the clearance of a new COVID-19 vaccine.
Much milder on this Thursday morning. 54 in Ocean City right now in the Dry Tech Cam. We're milder this morning, and then we're really warm with summer-like warm today. 70s close to 80 away from the coast. Cooler Friday. Rain chances increase and won't be a washout into the weekend, then much colder next week. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has delayed the full approval of Novavax's COVID-19 vaccine. According to a source, the FDA is looking for more data on that vaccine. The Novavax vaccine was on track for clearance until the FDA's delay. If approved, it would become the third vaccine against COVID-19 to receive full approval. The agency's decision was due on April 1st, but the company says it hasn't heard anything yet.
Food and Drug Administration can keep certain flavored vaping products off store shelves. Wednesday, the U.S. Supreme Court weighed in, siding with government regulators. The case stemmed from the FDA's refusal to grant approval for some vaping products to be sold to consumers, saying they were deliberately geared to appeal to minors. However, it's only a partial win because the High Court sent the case to an appeals court for additional review. Vaping companies will also be able to reapply for FDA approvals of the product.
It is 5:55, so it is time to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day.
And today's Coastal Pet of the Day, everybody get a look at this picture here. That's James. This sweet beagle loves to play and snuggle. James was sent to us by Kathy in Rehoboth Beach.
Oh, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan that QR code there. That way you can submit your friends to CoastTV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56. We're going to take another look at your more mild forecast.
Bob, it's not even 6 a.m. and we're already have temperatures in the 60s. How about that?
How about that? Do you guys miss the frost
No.
conditions? No, resounding no. Yeah, no, I mean, that we just saw a very cute dog. Beautiful morning for a dog walk, and it's going to be great for really any outdoor activities today as we're quickly warming through the 60s, gusty winds into the 70s, windy this afternoon, some inland places touching 80. Sustained winds 20 miles per hour this afternoon, I think gusting over 30 at times. Paul Davis 10-day forecast could see some morning showers and storms Friday, otherwise drying out 71, and a few more showers Saturday morning 73, 79 on Sunday with late day showers and then heavier rain perhaps into Monday morning. We'll have to keep an eye on that to see if that will be an alert day at some point. 56 Monday and then a big cool down into the middle part of the week. In fact, could see a frost and freeze Wednesday morning. Keep that in mind. Warming up towards the end of the week, then it looks like maybe another chance of rain by next Saturday. I know, not the best timing, and temperature around 62.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Coming up in our next hour, Cape concerns. The school district explains why it is against a proposed development in Lewis. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.